Commissioner, what's your take on the refugee crisis? I mean, we know that America has a heart and wants to make sure that we help these poor people that have been driven from their homes. There's no question about who America is. Having said that, ISIS has clearly infiltrated the flow of refugees coming out of Syria.
Well, the finding of that passport, the Syrian passport at the shooting scene in Paris, obviously raised a lot of concerns in this country. I think we have to simply do a much more effective job of vetting. I don't think we should shut off the program, but we're going to have to delay it.
Can we? Oh, God, delay it. Because can we vet them now?
I think with some difficulty. And as Mr. Rose, the advisor to President Obama, said, hey, they're going to involve the CIA, they're going to involve the FBI, going to involve the National Center on Counterterrorism. So let them bring those resources to bear and slow down the process.
Commissioner, what about the president comparing the threat of a refugee being a terrorist to a tourist? Is that a fair comparison?
No, obviously.
Well, he just said that in that sound.
Right. He said that this is no different than tourists.
And he said that.
And given your role here in New York City, is that accurate?
Well, I mean, we have to look at where these people are coming from. Just as Maria said, we have a heart, but look, they're coming from a place that ISIS, in essence, controls. So we have to be just much more vigilant, and I would say just slow this process down. If it's a trickle, it's a trickle. But we have to protect our country first.
I don't know how you could make that comparison to tourists coming from all over the world, coming into the U.S.
Yeah, and just the sweeping, generalizations that he makes. And no one who's looked at this believes the opposite of what he believes. And that's really the thing. I mean, when you think about leadership, don't you just think about pivoting and you think about changing as the facts change? Like you said, we need to re-examine this. We need to, at a bare minimum, stop and think about it.
Yeah.
When reality happens.
You have to think about the public and what the public's perception is. A high level of concern here, as it should be. So you have to address that in some way. You just can't write it off.
Because ISIS has gotten their hands on the passports from real Syrian refugees who are being driven from their homes, changed pictures, changed passports, and then you have to rely on the Syrian government giving you confirmation that this person is who they say they are. So should we be relying on the Syrian government at this moment in time?
There's not much of a government there, obviously. Ron Noble, the former head of Interpol, wrote a very interesting op-ed piece yesterday about how many stolen passports there are throughout the world. Interpol set up a system to check on it. And we're not certain that it's being used, but he recommends that. So do I, for what it's worth. There's hundreds of thousands of stolen passports, certainly forged passports that are out there. So we have to do a better job of checking everyone coming into the country.
In terms of the need for leadership here in this country, run for mayor? No, I'm serious. Are you going?
We are actually serious right now.
No, are you going to run for mayor of New York City?
Well, thank you.
No, will you?
We'll see what happens, but thanks.
Okay, so in the past you've said no. Now you're saying we'll see what happens. I like where this is going. Let me ask you about New York City for a moment, because there is a feeling that police officers are afraid to do their job because they are under attack. People are calling it the Ferguson effect. Is that true?
I've never seen a police officer in my over 40 years experience ever run from danger. So it's a different kind of concern that they have. And this is not just in New York, but it's all over America. They're concerned about their career. They're concerned about their family's well-being. So much of what police officers do is discretionary. So, yeah, I think they are holding back. I don't necessarily recommend it, but I think this is the world in which we live. They're applying their version of common sense. Why get involved when I can still get my pay and have my job and not do things that are controversial? We see everybody now over the age of 10 with a camera. So every incident where there's any sort of struggle, whatever, is probably being filmed, and chances are it's being misinterpreted.
So should the police be wearing cameras?
Well, I think they should, because that issue is kind of past us now. The train has left the station. And it will at least give us the potential of seeing the whole incident, the whole event. When you see these YouTube films, they start in the middle, or they, two-thirds into it, and obviously they are not showing the police well. So I think the cameras are something that its time has come.
Commissioner Kelly, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good to be here.
Appreciate your insights very much. Commissioner Ray Kelly there.